Hello guys, this is Moose from eSports Now. Today I'm giving my power rankings going into UMG Philly. These are not my placing predictions, just the top 10 best rosters right now. So at number 1 I have Complexity. Only I don't know if they're gonna win Philly, to be honest. They could definitely win it. They have the talent, they have the potential there. It's just one thing is Clayster was their hype guy and they dropped him for Karma. So but they do have Mr. X as a coach, so it's gonna be interesting to see the difference between their hype and their communication with Clayster not being on the team anymore. He's on TK, who we'll get to a little bit later down on the list. Also, at Columbus, they did not drop a single search and destroy, so I don't think they're going to do that at Philly, so it'll be interesting to see with those two changes, if they can still pull out the victory at UMG Philly. So the one team I think can best contest with Complexity is going to be Envious. It just feels like it's Envious's time. Plus, they picked up Gunjar, who was on TK, number one, my opinion, number 2 team before all the roster changes happened, before December 12th. They picked up Gunjar, and then they have Merc, Proofy, Rambo. Definitely strong roster there. Envy always has a good roster on paper, but then they never perform at an event. That's been going on lately after CoD champs. G-Finity they got eliminated day 1. Couple of disappointing finishes after that. So I think this is their event. They picked up Gunjar as a very good player, very talented player, and I think Gunjar's been grinding the game. I think he's hungry for number 1. So that's number 2. Number 3 is going to be Curse Las Vegas. He got 3/4 of the world championship team for Black Ops 2. Definitely talent there. I think they worked out the kinks from when they placed 9th through 12th at Columbus. Also, picking up Killa. I don't know if that had anything to do with their. I'm not sure, but that's probably why they dropped Sanville, because they felt like they need somebody who wasn't a slow AR killer, who can kind of play all these different roles. And he's kind of a shot caller, excuse me. So I think they got their strats down now. I think they're ready to roll, and they're number 3 on my power ranking list. Number 4, I'm gonna have Optic at number 4. The reason I say that, they placed very poorly at Columbus. I'm gonna put them there because this is Big Timer's last event, so there's definitely gonna be some special feelings. They're gonna be emotional. They've been grinding the game. Nadeshot's been grinding definitely, and with Ricky pretty much teaching Optic how to play the game. Um, Ricky was on Unite when they placed 3rd at Columbus, so Ricky knows the game. He taught the game to them. He's gonna be a great shot caller for them. And then you have Big Timer, who's definitely playing most likely playing his last event. He may come back, who knows? But if he does come back, we'll have a video up on eSports Now, so check out our YouTube. But anyway, his last event, so he's gonna play well. Everybody's gonna be rooting for Optic, even Optic fans. Maybe some non-Optic fans will be rooting because everybody likes Big Timer, right? I'm pretty sure. So that's why I have him at number 4, just because they've been grinding. They picked up Ricky, great shot caller, and this is Big Timer's last event. So, at number 5, I have TK. You may be wondering why it's so far down the list. I did consider them the number 2 team before December 12th. But when they picked up Clayster, it didn't really look like, from the start, it didn't really look it was too strong. It was decent, and Clayster's a good player. Just it never really fit. They never really found a fit. They looked kind of rusty when they played, and Clayster, he hasn't played with the team at all before the event. Like, he's been at a concert, so they're definitely be rusty going into Philly. So that's why I have him at number 5. At number 6, I have FaZe. When FaZe dropped Nabel and Ace, the 2 Halo pros, and picked up Methods and JCap, I was like, yes, finally. FaZe has a good team. JCap's definitely a monster at this game. I've been watching his streams. He's just a monster. His Remington shot is on point. Methods, good player as always. Classic, underrated player. Nobody really knows who he is, because when they announced him joining the team at the end of Black Ops 2, nobody really know. Everybody's like, who is this guy? But videos show that he went off at MLG Columbus, so definitely their secret weapon there. That's why I have him at number 6. At number 7, I have Fear. And I've always been like a big Dito fan. I always watch Dito streams. I don't know why, but Dito, when he can slay with an AR. That's it. He can just slay with an AR. Moho is a good objective player. Complex, and I've been watching him on when he was on Curse, the one Curse team back in Black Ops 2. He was dropping 40 bombs. Definitely considered one of the most underrated players, if not the most underrated player in Black Ops 2. It's just that this team, they have the slaying potential there. It's just their blitz defense is kind of weak. A lot of their blitz games are high scoring, but I'm sure in LAN everything's gonna be slower paced. So we'll see if they can win their blitz games. They can place well. So that's number 7. And number 8, I have Strictly Business. They did pick up Saints, although that was recently. So if they picked them up a little bit before, had more time to practice, that he would have been higher on. They would have been higher on the list. But I have number 8. They still have the team of Apathy, Sensor, and Fears. Even though they had Too Quick, they dropped him because he was kind of retiring and whatever, and realized left Strictly Business for Dare. So that 4th spot's been kind of questionable, and it's been filled recently, so that's kind of a downside. But Saints is a good player. That's why they are on number 10 top. That's why they're 8th on the top 10 list, is because Saints is a good player, although they did pick him up recently. So at number 9, I have Justice. Definitely a good team, just they made a roster change. The only reason they made a roster change was because Study was thinking about sketching for Cursed New York, and then they just decided to drop him, and they ended up picking up Heist, who was a good player, but that's why I have him at number 9, because there's a recent roster change, and I don't like that before an event. That's why these teams are dropping down so low, like TK. So that's Strictly Business, Justice. At number 10, I have Fuse. Because they made 2 roster changes after Columbus. One of them was recently, so that also takes away from it. So they dropped Sin and they dropped FaZe. FaZe was like right after Columbus, and then Sin was recently. And they picked up Wheats and Stainville. So that team looks like they can definitely be a dark horse, but I'm not sure. That's why I have it at number 10, because they probably haven't had a lot of time to scrim together. So anyway, that is the top 10 for power rankings going into the UMG Philly. I'll have a predictions, like actual placing predictions, out later. Not sure when, but subscribe to the channel and make sure you keep up with that. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out our Twitter at eSports Now, and that's it for me.